Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking MotoGP with myself, Rob Portman, and Donovan Free. We are here at the Kyalami Indoor Karting Circuit, level 4 of the Mall of Africa in Midrand, close to Kyalami. And we came here, the owner Jared very kindly invited us to come shoot here because there's the Brad Binder Shrine, as you can see. And Don, how cool does this circuit look? We've got a couple of cool ideas we're going to do here.
It's called Kyalami Indoor Circuit, not technically a Kyalami, but it sounds cool.
Up the road.
This is cool. You know what I want to do? Okay, apart from go-karts, which I don't really fit in. You get those Avali mini bikes.
Yes.
Why don't we get a bunch of those and see how injured we can get?
Okay, yeah, let's see. So I think end of the year when the Binders are here and the Clint Sellers, the Brent Herons, all our fast guys from overseas are here.
Yes.
We show them how it's done.
Yeah. Big news, Brad Binder not going to be racing next year due to multiple injuries from falling off
And Avali at the Kyalami Indoor Karting Circuit. But awesome, a really great facility. Come check it out. Like I said, even just for the Brad Binder Shrine, they've got some nice couches here. They got drinks, they got everything. A really cool facility. I'm going to show you some cool little cutaways as well.
Speaking of Brad
Binder, you'll see this funny looking man on a can in front of us. This is the brand new Brad Binder Red Bull can. Well done, Red Bull South Africa, for bringing this out. It is limited edition.
Grin.
There's his toothy grin. And we're going to crisp these open and enjoy them right now. The highlight of this is a couple of things before we get talking about MotoGP. You can go on to bradbinder.redbull.com. Check out there, they've got a couple of filters. You record a video using one of the filters. It's very, very cool. And then you upload it and you could win a chance to go with Brad Binder to the 2020 Jerez MotoGP race.
I just drank out of Brad Binder's face.
And how did he taste?
Crispy.
So yeah, get to that Red Bull Brad Binder site, get a can, find out about that, and stand a chance to win a trip to MotoGP with Brad. I mean, Brad's in MotoGP next year. How cool is that? Then also look out on the Ride Fast Magazine Facebook page because we got a couple of really cool activations with the Red Bull can as well. So check that out, and you can find out how you can win even more cool prizes and more exclusive one-on-one days with Brad Binder himself. So, forgetting about Brad Binder, the supreme Brad Binder for a moment, and looking at the beautiful can.
It's even autographed.
He's distracted now. He's distracted now.
I'm going to be hyperactive in a minute.
We're going to have a lot to talk about. That's why we're going to just down a couple of these. Don, the beauty that is MotoGP was just highlighted once again at Thailand. The battle that was Marquez. Okay, yes, he's wrapped up his 8th title, but let's talk about the battle that ensued between him and Quatararo. Kind of similar to what we saw at Misano, where it looked like Marquez didn't quite have the pace of Quatararo, who is just a machine. And after the race, Marquez came out and said Quatararo is the new Lorenzo because he's got that smooth style that just doesn't make mistakes.
Remember, Brad also said the same thing when he rode last year Moto 2 with Quatararo. He said he was very smooth, very and that is how you ride the Yamaha. Where you look at people like Vinales is a lot more kind of rough on the bike. Rossi's very heavy on the bike. Morbidelli's too chilled out. I don't know.
Yeah, too relaxed.
He's got a big head. Anyway, but just think about something. Here you have a rookie on what is technically a satellite machine dominating. Now, I mean, people always tell us, ooh, it's so embarrassing for the fellow Yamaha guys. But I mean, think about Marquez for a second. Okay, I know 8th title, yes, he's dominated. He was dicing with a rookie kid younger than him on a satellite bike.
Yeah.
And he's riding on the most expensive motorcycle probably available
ever
today.
Created. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a good way of looking at it.
It's got to play on your mind. I mean, I know Elation 8th championship, but he is sitting there thinking next year's Yamaha is going to be looking after Quatararo.
It is, but this is and now this is where I look at, and so many people have asked me this question at Misano and especially in Thailand. Yeah, Marquez didn't have to win in Thailand, and you could see he wasn't just cruising behind Quatararo. He was pushing as hard as he could possibly ride that Honda, right at the level of crashing. Now, this is where I think Marquez is already starting to play the games, knowing that Quatararo, the real Quatararo, is coming next year. He could have sat back, won his 8th title in second. Well done, Quatararo, you've won the first race. But he went and said, listen, Lighty, you're not going to get the shrine just yet. You are still number 2. I'm going to pass you on the last lap and show you how it's done.
I feel what we're missing is the racer mentality, because I know us sitting at home, we're thinking, you don't have to win. I mean, you don't have to. That's not how
that's
think.
Not
what gets you 8
champion.
championships, 9, whatever it is. That's not how you do it. He's thinking, I've got a hell of a lot of points. I can have crashed 3 times and still win the championship. Why not? Why do I have to sit back and relax?
That is ultimately the thing. Marquez came out and said, if I'm going to win, I always go out to win, no matter what. But at the same time, it was, I've got to start teaching this Quatararo a lesson now because something's going to happen.
No, of course he didn't. I mean, I've seen it a few times, journalists, all kinds of things. People are saying, oh, he didn't have to win, but of course he still win. No, he doesn't have to win, but he can also afford to crash.
Yeah.
He can afford. He doesn't have to take it easy now. He's got such a big gap, he can do what he likes.
And this is the other side. This is where the Marquez brilliance comes in. Love him, hate him, despise him, whatever you want. The man was on a stretcher in hospital on Friday after a crash. And this is where you got to feel sorry for Lorenzo as well, because Lorenzo would have looked at Marquez's crash and thought, if that was me, I'd be dead or miss 4 races. Marquez gets up, bounces, has a sore ankle, has a sore back, comes back 2 hours later in free practice 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and is competitive, and then goes on the Sunday 2 days later and wins his 8th World Championship.
I don't know how injured he was. I'll tell you why. A very famous picture. There's a picture of him jumping off the pool table
with his sore left ankle and back.
How sore are you actually?
I still saw that and I thought, you know what? If you were really that painful, look, he did have a little bit of a limp and he did have the wind knocked out of him. He couldn't breathe properly for a couple of minutes. But still, that is spectacular to come from that massive crash. Which, quick question, we're not going to dive too much into it. Cold tire or broken subframe?
I think the subframe broke with the impact. I mean, you saw that tire. That tire.
Okay, so it wasn't the subframe that caused the crash. It was
I don't think
initially
the subframe
the
caused the
tire.
crash because it was his first lap out. What are the chances he went out with a broken subframe? You've seen those technicians.
Yeah, they are meticulous.
I think the subframe, especially from certain angles, is not the strongest.
Yes.
It's made for a certain thing, but the tire was just cold. I mean, he came out of pits. There was one. Where was it? It was one left-hander, then a whole lot of rights.
Yes.
And then suddenly a left-hander.
Yes.
So I think he came out of pits and just put it in there and got a shape. Yeah. But you look at that. There was that famous photo.
Definitely broken.
And you look at the actual tire and how compressed it is. I think the swing arm broke then.
Okay, well, either way, he climbed back on the bike and wins his 8th world title. Yes. Look, he's dominated the year. To win it with 4 races to go, I mean, that is just... Rossi's now come out. This is the first time Rossi's actually come out and said, okay, I'm worried. This kid is definitely going to beat my 9 titles. That's definitely going to happen. And the rumor now is, and I actually wanted to talk about it last time, but we didn't get there. The rumor is Marquez is going to stay with Honda, get to title number 10, and then look at potentially going KTM or Ducati or something to prove a point on another manufacturer. But once the safe route of, I know I can do it with Honda, I'm going to pay Honda by doing it with Honda, and then I'm going to look at other avenues.
My thing is, okay, Marquez's loyalty is not actually to Honda, it's to Repsol.
Yes,
okay,
the Spanish company.
Repsol have been sponsoring him since he was something like 8 years old. Yeah, since he was born, pretty much. I mean, he started his career, even in Spain and that, he was sponsored by Repsol, the Repsol KTM. In Moto2, Repsol started their own special team
for Marquez.
For him. He had a whole team. They created the team only for him.
Yes.
They paid Suter a hell of a lot of money to get all their best technicians in there to look after him.
And he was the only one that could make that suit to work.
Well, they built the bike around him, so
I know what Honda are doing in MotoGP.
Exactly. So now now he's in MotoGP with Repsol. People keep saying Honda. I'm saying Repsol. Okay. Will he leave Repsol?
Yeah, I don't even think about it like that. But at the same time, he has been with KTM Red Bull before in GP125s. So that's why people keep thinking that is his next move after Honda is straight to them. But I've got a sneaky suspicion he'll say, cool, I'll go to Ducati and prove a point. Rossi couldn't win on it, a championship. Dovi couldn't win a championship on it. I'll go win it for you. Pay me 45 gazillion, trillion, billion dollars or pounds or whatever. And let me win a title there. And then, I mean, look, the kid is 24, 25 years old.
What were you doing when you were 25?
Trying to ride a motorbike as I could.
I was rubbish when I was 25. I'm still rubbish now, but I was more rubbish then.
Let's talk about another young superstar, 20 years old, Quatararo. Okay, so now people are saying he is the only serious guy that is going to challenge Marquez in the next couple of years. Starting already next year. We've seen how good he is on a MotoGP bike. People forget he rocks up like to Thailand. That's the first time he has seen that track on a MotoGP bike. The other thing people don't realize this year, doing what he's doing, all the pole positions and podiums, he's not crashing while he's doing it. Yes, he had a crash now at Thailand pushing on, but he's had 5 crashes the whole year, or 6 crashes.
His first crash on a MotoGP. Now remember, the first thing you do when you get on a MotoGP bike,
fling
you
yourself
fling
into
you
oblivion.
fling yourself into the gravel. That's what you do. His first crash on a MotoGP bike was in Jerez. Think
That was
about
6
that.
rounds in or something.
5 rounds in.
5 rounds in.
It's on his 5th. How many? 4 rounds in.
4 rounds in. Yeah,
We'll get there.
The old maths.
Mathematics, yeah. 4 rounds in. Okay, that is 4 different testing. Testing, what's it, session? Not even days. Like,
just sessions, yeah.
Sessions, 4 different testings, and 4 rounds in, he crashed a MotoGP bike for the first time.
And before that, he was
happy.
already on the top 3 and pole position.
And he was quite happy about it. He crashed the bike in practice, stood up and said, "At last I've done it. Okay, it's over now. I'm fine. Let's carry on. Let's go racing."
So he's kind of built
very consistent.
You know, I actually said in my Talking MotoGP column I did in the mag where Marquez built himself around this Rossi, and Quatararo has done the same around Marquez. So he's known that he's got to be flexible, he's got to be fit. If he crashes, he's got to get back up. My only concern with Quatararo going for the title is, first of all, he hasn't done it before. Generally, guys that go into MotoGP and win MotoGP titles have won championships in various categories, Moto3, Moto2, GP125, whatever. Quatararo hasn't done it. Quattararo's other problem is, no matter how fast he was last year on a Moto2 bike, he hasn't strung a full season together.
Yeah.
That is my only downside to Quatararo.
He doesn't strike me as a tactician.
That's what I'm saying.
What I mean.
He doesn't string a whole...
He's a Bautista.
Yeah, true. Where he's ridiculously fast.
He had Marquez behind him the whole time, and Marquez was just summing up. And I'm hoping this is something you learn. He's 20 years old. Remember when you were 20? How stupid were you?
I was chasing girls. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
I was very stupid when I was 20. I was very stupid when I was 20. But and he's 20 years old. He's still learning. He hasn't become a master tactician yet. Marquez is. Give him a bit of time. I mean, a lot of it was just him having Marquez behind him, and he just carried on riding. I mean, he kind of tried to block a little bit down that hill, but
he should have learned from Misano, because it was a ripper. He should have known, okay, well, Marquez is going to do to me here in Thailand what he did to me at Misano. So hang on, you go, Marquez, and you lead, and I will, because he could have benefited from a slipstream. We know how good he was on the brakes. The Yamaha is very stable under braking. That seems to be a strong point. And make the move. Use that advantage. But instead he kept going.
The greens that last corner, did you see?
Oh man,
there were 2 bikes in a row.
That is, and that's what I'm saying. That is what sells MotoGP as the greatest sport in the world. And I love Quatararo afterwards, where he kind of said to Marquez, "If I didn't try that move, I wouldn't have slept that night."
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the mentality you need to have. Vinales wouldn't have made that move.
But I knew when Marquez got past there, I sort of sat there and thought, okay, this is done. Because there were 2 other places to overtake, and both of them after a straight.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Yamaha just hasn't got the legs. He would not get closer. And the moment Marquez got past, I thought, he's not.
You're going to battle, The twisty parts, you could get close enough. But again, this is Marquez we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaks, closes that line, gets the bike dug in.
Can I have a rant for a moment?
We should call this Talking
This is where enjoy the YouTube comments. Here they're going to come. Enjoy all over Facebook. Here they're going to come. That absolutely bloody ridiculous celebration. Okay.
So what didn't you like about it?
Hang on. No. Well, I'm gonna now.
At least he sunk the 8 ball. If he didn't sink the 8 ball,
that would have been a bit embarrassing. But they did come on, they lined it up quite nicely.
Yeah, they put it right there.
They should have done like a trick shot with like a backspin or something like that. Come on, I mean, no. Here's my kind of thing. There's. I love social media because it's a chance to be an absolute bastard without actually getting punched. It's brilliant. But a lot of people don't seem to see the reason why Rossi is still the most loved guy in MotoGP. I mean, Marquez is obliterating everything he's done on track. He is going to overtake Rossi. I mean, short of something tragic happening, he is going to overtake Rossi. He is going to. But when people look back and they ask who was the greatest rider, more people are still going to say Rossi.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. It's simple things like this. Human mentality. It's people look at the human first.
Factor,
they look at the human first and then the achievements. That's where it works.
Yep.
And okay, Rossi started those gimmicks, those little
the toilet on the side.
But what were they? They were the Portaloo.
Yeah, the Portaloo. That was awesome.
The bowling ball. There was the speed. Remember when you got stopped by the speed cops and you got rid of tickets? It was brilliant. But here's the thing: it was Rossi and his mates sitting in a coffee shop in Tavuglia in Italy. They were sitting in a coffee shop, sipping beer, whatever it was, and they were coming up with fun jokes, and it was just for shits and giggles. Okay. That's what it was. and they made stuff themselves. They got girlfriends involved. They got everyone. They kind of made these stupid little props and these stupid little things. And Rossi would stop, and all his mates would come out, and it was, I don't know, it was a fun celebration. You know what I mean? But it was like, it was a bit silly, a bit genuine, and it was
not so scripted.
Yeah. With this one, I mean, they set apart a whole side of the thing right next to the Marquez, you know.
I still wondered, how did they set that up?
They set the whole thing up. They set the whole thing up. They had everything properly, you know, pre-planned. Yeah. They had the right angles. They had it all rehearsed. They had it perfectly. I mean, the Marquez climbed up on that table and he jumped as the streamers came down, so it would make the perfect photo. Then he climbed back on the bike. There was already a hashtag ready to go, hashtag 8-ball, and a whole lot of computer graphics. I'm sorry, that was not done by a bunch of people sitting in
with
a pub,
Steven Spielberg
laughing and giggling and all that. That was done with a bunch of people in clipboards. You know, going, right, so what would be the correct thing? Well, snooker, that won't offend anyone. No, that'll be perfect. We'll do that, you know. What if we get a blow-up doll, put it on the back of Marquez, they're looking like Claudia Schiffer? Well, two things, that was already done by Rossi, and that is very hurtful to blow-up dolls.
Yeah. You've got to be politically correct.
No, it's...
Okay, so you didn't enjoy it?
I kind of wish it would just be... human.
More emotional.
It needs to be more human.
Human emotional.
Human, it needs to be human.
Okay, Marquez, are you watching?
Yeah,
please make it more human next time.
Yeah, I mean,
when you get title number 9, get a. What should you do for title number 9?
Blood doll. No, I don't know. Blood sheep.
a blow up sheep. Sorry, Australia. Sorry, New Zealand. Wherever you like sheep.
You know what I mean? It's very scripted, very.
I know what you
very
mean.
Kind of. I don't know. It needs more.
Not the man himself.
It needs more human. It needs human. You come up with it. Sit with your mates.
Could that maybe be? And I'm a big Marquez fan, but could that maybe be because Marquez doesn't have as many friends?
I don't know what to say. Well, anyway, I sat with Julio and Alex in my
I
house,
just said it.
and none of us are very creative. Let's hire a PR team.
But you see, the problem is they lack girlfriends. All my great ideas in my life come from my wife. Just how it is.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough.
So that he needs a good woman.
You're an idiot.
Behind every cool guy is actually.
Okay, I'm going to give you other ones. Lorenzo jumping into the lake. Okay,
that was just him. Nearly died.
He nearly died. Okay, it was not a good move. But you know what I mean? It was just him. You know,
it was an act at the time.
I decided to go jump in the lake. It's human. You know what I mean? And he nearly drowned. That made it even better. You know what I mean? It's human. So less PR and corporate, more human.
So there we go. Marc Marquez. Make it more human for title number 9.
Face tastes pretty good.
Yeah, Brad, you can understand why Courtney loves him so much. Because he's got a good tasting
Brad, your
face.
face is magnificent.
So, I'm just going to go onto my phone here. Okay, so we've divulged that. I want to talk about Yamaha quickly now. Their weaknesses is long straights and before powering out of slow turns. Yet the only tracks they've done well at this year is Kota, which is long straights and slow turns, Thailand, which is long straights and slow turns, and Spielberg, which is long straights and slow turns. Then they get to tracks like Aragon, where there's a lot of turns, not the one big long straight in that, and they suffer. So how can, on paper, at tracks where they shouldn't do well, Thailand, they perform?
Okay, it always works kind of like this, where teams kind of it's complacency. Teams take it in turns to kind of build a good bike. You build a good bike, you win by miles, everyone goes, look at us, we're the greatest. And then they kind of get complacent and don't sort of put in the same effort. Meantime, the team that's losing puts in all the effort. You know, they have to win. Come on, guys, we're losing. And it's kind of this sort of back and forth motion. One thing that has changed, a little sort of something everybody's forgotten, is that for this year, they introduced the spec IMU.
Yes.
Now, okay, it's really complicated. It's IMU is a thing that
it's the computer for the bike.
Well, no, okay, you got the ECU, which is the computer controls traction control and fuel and everything. The IMU tells the ECU what the bike is doing.
Okay.
So it measures all the forces, all the everything. It kind of gives the ECU the information. Yes. The ECU says, right, then we need this traction control, this throttle, this, all of that.
Okay.
But the ECUs were spec. Remember, they're magnetic.
Yeah, so Dorna supplies each team.
Yeah, the spec one, because those become very expensive if you do it yourself. They didn't supply spec IMUs previously.
Okay.
And there was this whole theory that the IMU can be manipulated. So in other words, the spec ECU is still doing its own thing, but the IMU can tell it different things.
Those MotoGP techs are clever.
I know they're clever. They're clever. So you manipulate the ECU. So the ECU is still going to respond in a certain predetermined way.
But
the IMU is just going to tell it.
You've just bribed the middleman.
Exactly.
Yeah, corruption.
So what they've done now is they've given spec IMUs.
For this year.
Yeah, for this year.
I didn't even know that, to be honest.
And suddenly, Yamaha's doing well.
Well, like you said, the problems of years before where they just couldn't come out of the turn with any kind of acceleration, that seems to be their strong point now. Yeah, okay, we've highlighted the top speed issues on numerous occasions, but coming out of the turns, like out of those slow turns, Quatararo was a machete.
Yeah, but I mean, Yamaha is the improver of the year. You look at where they are. I mean, they've gone. We always used to say Yamaha's worst. They're the slowest motorbike. Yeah, it's true. But they're
challenging week in and week out.
They've focused on their problems. You know what I mean? Getting better through the corners, drive out of the corner at the cost of top speed. But
they've sorted out those problems.
Exactly. So they've done a bunch of things. They've changed everything at Yamaha. They've completely changed all the staff. They've got Folger running a European test team, not just a Japanese test team. They've got all of this, and it is paying dividend by the looks of it.
But my other question now is the Petronas.
Yes.
It's also helped having another proper, as close to factory team as possible.
That's the other thing. The other Ducati and Honda had Crutchlow and Miller
on factory
machines. So you've got a third machine of which to kind of bounce ideas off.
Yes.
Whereas they didn't before.
The Tech 3 bike was last year's bike.
Yeah, the Tech 3 was an old bike. Now they've got two other factory machines, and again they're bouncing ideas off these things.
But now we say that. At Thailand, they came out and said, we've given Quatararo a little bit more horsepower. So what is Quattararo's spec of his Yamaha compared to the rest? Because I thought they were similar.
This makes no sense to me. Quatararo was given 500 RPM less. Now this thing's revved to like 18 billion.
So he got 17.5 billion.
And originally they said it's because Quattararo's a rookie and because they wanted to just make sure his engine's going to last.
Because they get the engine allocation.
But why would that make a difference? Because they gave Morbidelli, his teammate, the full horsepower. Yeah. So it didn't make much difference
and there's no cost involved in that. It's a guy pressing enter.
It's a guy pushing a button. It does nothing. So it makes no sense to me. Now for Thailand, they've given him the full spec. They pushed enter, and he's got an extra 500 RPM. I don't know how much of a difference that really made. And what I don't understand is the fact that Quatararo was never the slowest Yamaha.
No,
he had 500 horsepower left, 500
RPM left. Yeah, horsepower.
Anyway, it goes backwards. He had 500 RPM less, but he still was always near the top in terms of the Yamaha top end, which is slower than an Aprilia. But anyway, he was still one of the. I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, in actual fact, you would have thought that then they would have gone to Vinales and Rossi and taken 500 RPM off because it was working better without you wasting. You're loading your engine for nothing. But maybe for Thailand. You got to look at the gearing in that as well. Maybe for Thailand to hold third through that section, he needed an extra.
The real benefit of the extra horsepower is that you can horsepower.
Extra
anyway,
RPM.
Let's go swap. From now on, horsepower means RPM. Okay. The thing about extra 500 RPM is that you can hold a gear longer.
Yes, for that extra.
So you don't need to change gears before a corner. Your gearing's easier, all that kind of thing. So that's the genuine sort of thing.
Yamaha on the right track. I think Quatararo is going to be a big contender next year. I still have question marks over that season, and I still have question marks in the fact that other in the Spanish 125 championship or Moto3 championship when he was like 10 years old and he dominated there, he hasn't won a world championship.
Well, a curious case of Quatararo. This kid arrived and everyone sees the greatest. His name is Quatararo. We still get it wrong.
Yeah.
He arrived in Moto3 having dominated the Spanish championship, which is called the European Championship. I don't understand it. But anyway, he dominated that. He arrived, everyone said, this is the new Marquez. Yeah. This is the greatest thing ever.
He still had the dragon, he'd like replicated.
Yeah, and he sort of arrived, 14 years old, going, oh, what? Yeah, you're that guy. See, Marquez, you're going to dominate like him. Go dominate. And what a thing to throw at a 14-year-old kid.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't put together a season in Moto3. He put together a couple of wins and podiums in Moto2, but not an overall season. That is the only question mark with him. Speaking of question marks, Ducati, to me, have now hit a brick wall because they went backwards in Thailand. Dovi pushed Marquez last year to the final corner. He was nowhere. He was never in the race from free practice one. Petrucci, I don't know. Ducati, to me, have got to now. Gigi's got to shave his beard, start from a blank piece of paper, pluck his eyebrow, and start from scratch. Because, is it a case of, like I said in the last episode, is it time for a Rins, a Quatararo, or someone? We need fresh blood, we need fresh ideas.
Okay, they've got Petrucci there. Very nice guy, won a race in Mugello, and therefore he's a hero. and now he's sort of done nothing. Again, he's the heaviest rider on the grid by a long way, but I mean, is he developing the bike, or is he just trying to figure out how to make it work
for him? Yeah.
Is it helping? I mean, previously you had Lorenzo, who came with all these ideas, 500 million seat units, 12 tanks, but these ideas.
Fresh
Petrucci's
ideas.
sitting there going back wheel spinning. I mean, he's a very woodland creature.
But yeah,
he's eating a fresh acorn and he's saying back wheel spinning. And all you're doing is just fixing his back wheel spinning.
And sweating before he even gets on a
Exactly.
motorbike. I mean, he looked like he was dying before he even climbed on that bike.
He goes through 4 razors every morning. He does.
But Ducati's problem is now that it just looks like, and I said it in my column, stale Ducati, it just looks like, even Dovi himself, we've run out of ideas to beat Marquez. We have literally done everything we can. We've done a launch control thing for the start. We did the carbon this, we did this. We can't beat this guy.
Well, okay, 2 things. Honda have now challenged them in terms of top speed. They're now just as fast as Ducati. That's where they're always lacking. Plus, they go around corners better. Yamahas have just improved everything.
When that Yamaha gets horsepower...
I mean, compared to last year, it's just amazing how much better.
But if they get horsepower next year, that is going to be... And that's what Quatararo is making him even look like more of a title contender, is the fact that his bike is going to get better.
You see Lorenzo had a bit of a dig. He said after the race, congratulations to you. It was very nice. Congratulations to Marquez. You won, you deserved it, you did great. Congratulations, team. After that, he kind of said, well, it would be quite nice if next year Honda concentrated on building a bike that more than one rider can ride.
Yeah, but this has been an argument for the last 3 years. Crutchlow has been saying that. So nothing really new there. Talking about Lorenzo again, just going through the motions, he circulated. I don't know what to really say about it, because I didn't think even a Lorenzo riding at 50% would be that bad. I mean, Dyson would have to side rim.
Hang on, I'm going to throw 2 names in that. We're not going to according to your script here, by the way.
No,
that's not the window. This might be 4 hours long, but okay. 2 names I'm going to throw into the kind of hat here. Lorenzo for Rossi.
Okay.
Okay, Lorenzo is not really improving like he should be. Okay, and I said to him, good on you. You've got the rest of this year, use it as a learning and a testing, get yourself healthy. He's not really improving, and that's quite a problem. I mean, you should see sort of methodical, incremental improvements. You're not. The other one is Rossi. Okay, his current what's it called? Crew chief is leaving. I'm not even going to try. Silvano Gilbert.
Yeah, he was in the World Superbike team. He came there. The old bald guy. The
old bald guy.
With freckles on his head.
Yeah, freckles on his head. He is now moving to the test team, which is probably going to have Zarco.
Yes.
He's moving there. He said he doesn't like the pressure of GPs. He's an old man. He's moving along. They're taking... Rossi's taking his Sky...
VR46,
the Moto2 guy that helped, what was that guy's name?
Bagnaia,
there we go.
His title.
Helped him to his title. He's going to have him next year.
Young, fresh ideas, maybe.
I'm just wondering if this is not, because Rossi keeps, people are saying he should retire, and Rossi keeps saying, my problem is not me, that bike just spins when I ride it, and we haven't found a solution. I don't have any grip. So I wonder how much of that is just him...
Yeah, trying whatever he can. Literally, it's got to the point now where he's got to try everything, because again, in Thailand, he competed there last year, and this year, Vinales kind of still was there, Rossi was just nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think size is just becoming... I know we got on about size and weight, and it just seems to be playing more and more of a key role.
Well, I think here's the thing, if this new guy can't fix it,
then
Rossi's out.
Then Rossi must just say, I've thrown everything at it.
So I kind of wonder, Lorenzo's adamant he's going to be racing next year, he's going to stay with Honda, he's going to stick it out, he's going to make it happen. And I kind of wonder if he gets to the end of the year, remember that the rider knows what's going on. We all do speculation, the rider knows.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if end of the year Lorenzo's thinking, this is not working.
I have nothing more to give. Body's saying no, mind's saying no.
Yeah.
I've got millions in the bank.
And I think if this new crew chief of Rossi does not come along with some grand ideas that fix everything, that get Rossi up there, that's Rossi out also. It's going to make a few people cheer. It's going to make a lot more people cry.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, love him or hate him, a MotoGP without Rossi is not a very good idea. Speaking about other riders that potentially could be retiring and already, to me, look like, in a way, I don't want to say give up, because these guys never give up, but it's just not there, is Crutchlow.
He can't walk.
We've spoken about the fact that he can't walk, but I think mentally as well, he's just... I don't want to say defeated, I don't want to use that word, but it just looks like I've been in this paddock so long, I've got my beautiful wife, I've got my beautiful kid. Is it now, again, that pressure? People don't realize the pressure. Why does Marquez not have a beautiful woman by his side? Because MotoGP will not allow that.
Okay, we heard this a while. I heard this a long time ago. People were saying, some of them still say it. They say Rossi's gay, and you sort of why? Well, you never see him with a woman. And shortly after that, this was now a few years ago. We've seen him with quite a few rather, I'm jealous.
Big-breasted woman,
I'm rather jealous. You're not allowed to be jealous, you're married. Anyway, but people were saying, okay, he's gay because you never see him with a woman, and he hangs out with Uchi all the time. So okay. But I went to Italy on some launch, and I went and chatted to a whole lot of journalists there, Italian journalists, and you're sort of like, so Rossi, you never see him with a woman? And they went, yeah, of course you won't. I said, why? Well, he's racing.
He's married to MotoGP.
What do you mean he's racing? He's like, no, you can't take a woman with you to the track. Of course you can't. I mean, how you've got to concentrate. You're there to race, so you won't see a woman on the track.
These guys are married to MotoGP. Every second, every whatever fibre of their body is put into MotoGP. Look at that Charles Leclerc now in Formula One. Dumped his more than gorgeous woman, the supermodel woman, so they can concentrate more on Formula One.
Yeah.
That is the level that these guys are at. So Crutchlow, to me, apparently, I mean, inside, you got a little bit of inside information there as well.
People have 2020. Said he's got a contract until next year, and then
after that,
he hasn't even decided himself yet. So no, we're not sure, but it's a possibility he might call it quits. But
okay, let's just look at Thailand then quickly. Suzuki also just looked like a brilliant start to the year, but and I don't want to say they've got worse. It's just that other teams have improved a bit, and they've
Suzuki's is sort of where Yamaha was a little while ago. With some tracks they work really well, and some tracks they really don't.
And they were just going through the motions here. Rins was a serious title contender at the beginning, and it's kind of slacked off. But Mir has now come. Joan Mir has come.
Remember, he was injured early on this year. He's getting back on.
That was a massive crash. Magello test or something. He killed himself as well.
Can we talk about the guy whose face we've been drinking out of?
Mr. Brad Binder, and you were saying, and I completely agree with you, some really good signs and Christmas present kind of signs heading into 2020 for him.
Yeah, Miguel Oliveira. Now, Miguel Oliveira is sort of Brad Binder Christmas future, because he is exactly what he was last year, exactly what Brad Binder is now. He's challenging for the title. He was running up front in Moto2 on a bike he wasn't particularly happy with. He jumped into Tech 3 MotoGP team, and you look now, he's getting closer and closer. I mean, his sort of benchmark is Paul Espargaro, and he is getting closer and closer. And I mean, at one stage, it was he and Paul Espargaro dicing ahead of Crutchlow. And it's good signs. I mean, that, as I say, is Binder Christmas future. I think, two better signs for Binder. Tech 3 team would have had a year's experience on the KTM.
More development.
He has a better team to go to. I also think this year, Binder seems to have kind of, I don't know, you just look at the determination. You just look at the way he rides the machine. I mean, every single time you hear the commentators, especially Simon Crayford, talk about Binder, they just can't stop raving.
It's like on another level.
You just look at him ride. Every single corner, he is completely sideways. He's completely out of shape. He is riding that bike to the very last thousandths of a second. And I think that's, especially moving to somewhere like KTM MotoGP, you need that quality.
I love that little post that we posted up after Aragon, where Dovi eating a muffin or something, and Marquez, and they say, Binder, he's out front. No one's going to pass him. And I had the same thought. As soon as I saw Brad on that last lap, Navarro's coming. Pass Brad Binder on a last lap, good luck.
Isn't it, Marquez even said to his brother, he said, if Binder's out front, just
leave it. Don't even go there. And look at that move that Brad... I mean, it was sensational to watch that
guy. Outside, and he was sideways. Even when he was crossing the line, he was still sideways. You know.
No, listen. He's got a funny-looking face on this beautiful can, but I love the man. And like you said, I cannot wait to see that guy in MotoGP, because he's going to wrestle that KTM to new heights.
Can I drink his other face?
Yeah. Take another one. Just make sure you go on the website and enter.
There we go. Lots of face.
So remember, BradBinderRedBull.com. Go enter and go with him to Jerez MotoGP next year.
I did a story. I don't know if you saw it. I did a story of Brad Binder. Yes, I said it was titled Can Brad Binder win this year's Moto2 title?
Yes.
The answer is probably not. Which is a bit of a letdown. However, end of Bruno. Remember, KTM brought this brand new chassis. It was going to revolutionize everything. And all it did is made their riders really crap, and it made Brad Binder
to the back of the pits and
fall flying, into the gravel trap. Yeah. And at that point, he was 77 points behind Marquez, who was dominating everything. And we all said, that's it. Binder's done. Championship's done. Yeah. Just do the best you can. At that stage, he was 8th place, 77 points down. He is now 3rd place, 44 points down. He has finished on the podium in 6 of the last 8 races. And dare I say, one of those is because KTM brought a chassis that didn't work.
Yeah. And they're going to tracks now where he's really strong. Phillip Island.
He's going to track. He's very strong.
Motegi.
He's got Augusto Fernandez 4 points ahead of him in second. He says AF on the back of his leather. I don't want to say what that stands for.
And
anyway.
Alex Marquez, who's prone to making mistakes.
Yes, so
he's eyeing them out now.
He has 44 points ahead. There are 4 rounds to go. If Binder wins all 4 of those rounds, Marquez has to finish 4th in all of them, and Binder will win.
It's not.
But more likely is Marquez is going to make a big stuff up.
Yeah, and Brad just doesn't make mistakes.
Brad doesn't make mistakes. He's so headstrong. I get the feeling Alex Marquez is not. So you get to Valencia, Binder's only 10 points behind or something ridiculous, and Marquez knows he's got a sideways South African coming.
And I'm going to Valencia, so I'm going to poison Marquez. Marquez, if you're watching this, turn your TV off or whatever now.
Kick him in the face.
I'm going to do something. I'm South African. I'll do something. What can I do?
Go to prison.
Rat poison or something. I hope the FBI is not watching this. Yeah, I think I'm going to just slide some rat poison in there for sure.
You are going to prison, but it's in Spain, so it's like an average.
But Brad,
it's like an average South African hotel. You know, you'll be fine.
And Brad wins a Moto2 title.
Exactly,
I'll take the bullet.
Come on,
I will take the bullet.
We will build a statue in your honor. We will put it next to Nelson Mandela in the Nelson Mandela Square. It'll be Nelson Mandela, 27 years. Robert Portman, 5 years in Spanish jail because
Okay. I'm going to try. I'll think of weird and wonderful ways. If I see Marquez just coming on his scooter, I'll just clothesline him or something.
Do it.
Although I don't even need to. Brad's going to destroy him on natural talent.
Yeah. But no, there is that prospect. Binder could win the challenge. I mean, we're getting a little bit... We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but could. And I mean, just the fact that he's caught up, he's 3rd, it's very likely, I think, he's going to finish at least 2nd. In this championship. It's amazing.
Brady, it's sensational what he's doing, and I cannot wait to see him in MotoGP. Let's just quickly, before we end the show, touch on the Darren Binder incident in Moto3. Your thoughts? Because I've almost flown to America and beaten some people up on Facebook.
I know. I'm going to give a slightly unpopular opinion here.
That's what the show's about.
Okay, yeah, slightly. I've given enough. I'm already going to have people come to my house with Facebook.
You're already going to try to find your way home.
Can I tell you... Okay, first of all, dive bomb Darren, the name is earned, but he's 15 kilometers per hour down on some of those tracks. 15 on a Moto3 bike. That's just 10 horsepower. He may as well be on a bicycle. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's huge. The only way he can do anything is if he dive bombs. It's either dive bomb or finish last.
Yeah,
that is it. So yes, he dive bombs. Yes, but he's got no other choice. This crash now was not him dive bombing last minute out of shape.
No, out of shape. Yeah.
Where he made the mistake, he didn't give the other rider enough room.
Okay, so he went over.
He was in control, but he was right next to the rider. This rider moved this way and moved this way, they touched. There should have been a little bit more.
But at the same time, from the rider's point of view, he's trying to go left because it's a tight right-hander to open the track up and make the corner. My argument with that is, and I've looked at photos and I've divulged this as much as I possibly can, the risk with riders putting their legs out the way they do, and you look at it closely. I still posted some photos up. Canet puts his foot out under the braking, so that already now gives Darren that much less track to try and overtake him. So Darren actually almost runs over his foot, which in turn puts Canet out of shape, and he crashes and McPhee crashes. And by the way, Suzuki crashed all on his own. It had nothing to do with Darren. But the risk of putting that leg out is a problem for me. If you want to put your leg out, you must know that it could potentially be taken out.
I'm sorry, that leg does nothing.
No, it does
People have
nothing.
all these million theories about what is putting it. No, it does nothing.
Brad Binder doesn't put his leg out, and he's one of the fastest racers in the world, so it does
Lorenzo
nothing.
didn't put his leg out. It does nothing. No. I mean, it's just.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you're going to put your leg out, you can't complain if a rider is going to take your leg out when you're getting past or anything. You cannot complain because.
Can I just add something? The decision to penalise Binder, I'm thinking that was a very political one. Because here you had a title challenger, Spanish title challenger, taken out by a guy who's known to be aggressive. What would the repercussions be if they had done nothing?
No, listen, I understand you something, but why not give him the long lap? Because he still did the long lap thinking a ride-through penalty.
Yeah, okay.
Come now. We've seen so many decisions this year where the guy's got a long lap. You take advantage of the track, go over track limits, you get a long lap. A ride-through penalty for a racing incident. Okay, and I understand they took in his previous misdemeanors and whatever, but not a ride-through penalty. Not through a pit lane that takes 5 minutes to get.
The thing about stuff like this, the stewards sit there. It's the stewards who make all these decisions. They sit there. There's no actual rule book that if a guy hits here or if a guy, it's sort of just look at it and make a decision.
And these are former riders and experienced.
This is just, there's a lot of politics involved here. It's, oh boy, people are going to come down to us unless we do something about this. Connect has a lot of fans. Although, in fairness, if you watch how many times Connect has taken people out in the past, remember Bender.
This is Moto3.
Brad said he was one of the guys they used to stay away from when he was in Moto3. It was Connect. When you Connect's there, keep away from him because I think it was just. It's not exactly deserved more political. They had to do something. And
my problem with Moto3 at the moment, with all these penalties and riders at the back of the grid and you can't follow, I understand all that. But Moto3 has always been that kamikaze class, and it just seems like they're trying to tone it down a bit. Which the one guy on Facebook still said to me, if he wants to race and earn money in Moto3, he's got to play by the rules. It's Moto3. there should be a lot less rules because these are young riders going all out to try and cement their futures.
I think Darren, next time, that move was perfect and everything like that, and we know you have to do stuff. Just give him another meter. You know what I mean? It's in track days we say it's not okay. I'm not saying Moto3 track, but in track days there's that rule, is that 2 meter rule. You don't get within 2 meters of another rider, and the reason for that is because you've got to give a bit of room. And I think just next time, just a little bit more room.
But Daz, we still love you, dude. I love what you're doing. Keep doing that.
I find it so funny is that on track Darren and off track Darren are so they're different. Darren is so like
Darren will see a butterfly off track and he'll hold it and kiss it and caress it. Then on track he'll mortify the thing. He'll be hit it. Anyway, we love it. I hope you've enjoyed this talking MotoGP. Remember, guys, get down to any shop here, only in South Africa. So if you're watching overseas, sorry for you, only available in South Africa. Get a Red Bull Brad Binder limited edition can. Get to the website, and remember, 7th of December, Saturday the 7th of December, come meet and greet with Brad Binder at Ridgeway Race Bar. Look out on the Ride Fast Facebook page and my personal page. Come there, and I'm going to steal, like I said, we're going to tie him up in Valencia. I'm going to steal boots, undies, socks, used condoms, whatever I can get my hands on. He's going to sign it. We're going to auction it off on the day. So check out for that. But until next time.
And also come here, Kyle Army Indoor Go-Kart.
Kyle Army Indoor.
Yes, not technically a Kyle Army, but it sounds good. Come here.
Come here. Check out Brad on the wall. Get your Brad Binder can. They'll have them here in stock as well soon. And enjoy this beautiful facility. It really is. Until next time, we'll see you later.